I'd like to call to order the Common Council meeting for January 24th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Attendance roll call.
Alderpersons Wolf.
Here.
Hamel.
Here.
Terrence.
Here.
Kapusta.
Here.
Schrader.
Here.
Kabaki.
Here.
Madden.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law.
Thank you. Public comment. Anyone wish to discuss anything on the agenda with the Common Council? Hearing none. Moving on. Communications from the mayor's office. I'm going to bring this up because it's kind of a unique situation going on. We've had complaints in the past of different places around town with like their yards get unsightly and things like that, and we send them letters and we take care, and you know, most of the time within 3 letters they take care of it. Sometimes we got to get them into court. There is one particular home on Woods Road which is blowing the record books out for unsightly yard. It makes the one farther up Woods Road look like a well-kept yard that we've had in the past. We are doing everything in our power within the legal system to get this cleaned up. The current owner is not cooperating quite yet, but I think we'll have some pretty good resolution within the next few weeks on this. It's just a process to go through. So I just wanted to address that to anyone that's watching, because we have got plenty of phone calls on it. And as I've told the people when they call and complain about it, they are preaching to the choir, because I really want to take care of it myself too, but there is a process we have to follow. We can't just go onto private property and start removing stuff without following the law. So that's all I have for communications today. Public hearing. Public hearing to consider the petition of George, how do I pronounce your last name? What he said, of Wisco Carts LLC concerning the area described as tax key number 21809.994.004 located at Racine Avenue. It's a vacant land to be granted a rezoning from B2 local Service Center District to B3 General Business District for the purpose of allowing a future golf cart dealership. Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. For those of you that may know the name Wisco Carts, they've become pretty popular here in the city with us passing the different laws that allow golf carts in the community. And with that, Wisco Carts is currently located on Janesville Road. They're looking at building a new facility for dealership and service of golf carts located on the east side of Racine Avenue, just north of Stars Dance Studio. Current zoning there is B2 Local Service Center, and they're applying for rezoning to B3 General Business District. With their proposed use in the B3 zoning, which is what they're asking for, their use would be allowable, subject to Plan Commission approving a BSO operational plan, as well as the conditional use grant, which will be a separate topic at a separate date. So this is just the rezoning from B2 to B3.
Thank you. At this time, anyone that wishes to be heard on this matter, please step forward. Form a single file line. Fashion. Does the petitioner have anything they would like to add? You don't have to, but you can. All right. Seeing no one coming forward, I will declare this public hearing closed. Moving on to consent agenda. Approval of the Common Council minutes from January 10th. Approval of utility tax and general fund vouchers and wire transfers for payroll/invoice transmittals. Review and authorize the placement of a temporary race course marker for Little Muskego Yacht Club on Little Muskego Lake. And Resolution 011-2023, a resolution to increase fees for outside dance permits.
I'd like to pull 011 for discussion.
011?
Yep.
All right.
Motion to approve the balance and gross.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Resolution 011-2023 is on, well, I need a motion to put that on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Terrence?
Yeah. I'm not in favor of this. I would love to see us explore. I understand the idea of administrative costs and what we can do to offset some of that time. Rather than add fees, I would love to see if we could put something on the books that says you can do X, Y, and Z without a permit, and make the permit a little more focused on the areas where there would be an issue, right? I realize the nature of business had changed. I think even in here it mentions that there's some cities that do require it, some that don't. And for us to say, okay, look, we're, for the most part, accepting all of these, right? I think maybe we've had one or two places where people have come and spoke, and those are in areas where there's like some real close residential. So rather than us saying, hey, let's just continue to add fees to this, let's look to put a policy in place that states this is an acceptable time frame within which you can operate, and then that would potentially give us some of that time back that we're trying to turn around and add a fee on. I would not be in favor of adding fees on for that.
And I understand your concerns, and actually I did kind of think of that when this first came up, is like, well, do we even need to have this go? I mean, the fee part is really because it is overwhelming. I mean, it is a lot of work for our staff to just track it from an administrative standpoint. So we have two choices: either find a way of, well, pulling their staff time away from something else, which is increasing, essentially it's most of the community, since most of our community is home, so it's families supplementing businesses, which I'm not in favor for. Should be the other way around. I like, that's why we want business here. I shouldn't say it should be the other way around, but we want to have a bigger business base so we can make it a nicer place for families to live by getting that tax revenue. However, so then I was thinking, if we can't, why don't we just try to get rid of the administrative headache? Problem is with something like this, so many of our bars and restaurants that have outside venues are all in unique areas. So you really do want to regulate and have control over that, because I can't think of any place where we haven't gotten a phone call about. Maybe you guys haven't heard about it, but typically you always get some sort of phone call. You know, especially as the season starts, that they're playing too loud, they're too noisy. Explain to them, well, they have a permit, they can go till 10. Typically, if people hear they have, okay, this is going till this time, and it's only going to be these certain dates, they're okay with it. They can kind of plan around it. So on the surface, like the idea of what you're talking about, I don't think it's practical in a use like this. But, you know, more than welcome to to go through our things that we create permits for that we could get rid of to try to free up some administrative tracking. I'd be more than happy to do that. I just don't think this is a good fit for it.
I love that overarching idea. I'm in favor of us kind of dumping as many of these as we can. I mean, I don't have the inventory of the ones that we've done, right? So for us to do the analytics and say, hey, we've had, the max we're getting is people are doing 12 events. We never turn down an event. We sort of have a log. And I think it is okay, we know this person is doing it. So when they call, we kind of have that. And I've had calls on certain things that were permitted and things that weren't permitted. I don't necessarily stops the calls. Regardless of whether it's in or out. I would love to see us get rid of it and have more of a framework within which businesses can operate, and that's just where they operate, and we go with it from there. So that's
I should add this, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. If we don't license it, it becomes a right, and which means if they're abusing that right, it's very hard to withdraw it.
Well, I mean, there's already times with which noise ordinance, like there's things in place that you could call.
There's almost nothing revolving around alcohol that doesn't require a license.
I'm strictly revolving around that. I wouldn't have a problem if they'd wanted to have alcohol on their patio for, until they were open. That's totally fine. If we're talking noise, or we're talking the things that are going on that would disturb a resident, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem if we blow it away. That would be where I would like us to go with it.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, so we're going from $5 permit?
No, we're going from a $10 permit regardless of what they do with it, which if it was just a one-time thing coming in, the problem is,
So you're saying if they come in 3 times throughout the year, it was $10 for that whole?
It was $10, or if they bring in, say they bring it in 3 times, add to it, and then subtract from the former ones, and they're.
So it's not per use, okay, but,
right.
So we want to go to like a per time they come in.
Right, we want to do it, I'd like to, well, the reason we have the $5 per time is because, just for numbers' sake, so I'll just share with you. 1920, the number of outside events that we had were a total of 6. 2021, it went to 95. Last summer, we had 224. 2019 to 20, yeah.
Oh, okay.
19, 20, 19, no, 1920 meaning.
I got you.
The 2019, 2020 season, sorry. And then 2021.
It's a hopping year.
Yes.
6,
And then the 2020, 2021, we went from 6 to 95 to 224.
yeah, well, COVID helped do that.
Right.
We know that.
Well, it helped
we were
them
pretty
learn
lenient.
about it, but last summer wasn't a COVID summer, and that's the biggest one we've
Well,
had. I think
that's-
they just realized that this is what people like, and we're encouraging our
Well, they had to
businesses
get
do
back
it.
into business, yeah.
But we do have to track it, because of, if we don't, there are places around town that are doing it that aren't working so well with their neighbors, and some establishment owners are great and they're more accommodating, and some need a little more encouragement. And that's
Well,
what the licensing
guidelines
is.
are always good, yeah. I was just asking because, I look at this as a surface, it's another tax.
I don't disagree with you on it.
But, if we're going from $5, now the minimum's $25. Yeah, I mean, if they come in one time with one event, it's $25.
Right.
So I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make them put more together. Some places only have 1 or 2 events, right? I mean,
Yes.
so they're going to pay more. But yeah, I guess I'm not totally against it. I'm against the theory of taxes, though. It's another fee, another tax, another out of the pocket they pass on to the consumer.
If you have any interest to hear, New Berlin charges $10 per event, period. Oak Creek, $100 yearly fee, and Waukesha does $40 per event. So,
But Waukesha includes their outside liquor,
okay.
but.
But anyway, I think it's fair.
Well, it's reasonable compared to what they're going to hopefully bring in.
Right. I mean, if it's not working, that's a business decision, I guess, at that point.
And we did get pretty lenient on our giving these things out like water.
Well, and we try to. I mean, I want to do everything to see our businesses be successful, and I don't mean this to be onerous on them. I don't think $5 for an event that you're hopefully bringing in maybe $2,000 extra money that night is going to hurt them.
Well, it is reasonable because there's extra police patrol running through the
Right,
area.
there's
And
all kinds of
there's
stuff.
a lot of cost involved, so.
It's not a
you know-
moneymaker. It's not a moneymaker. Anything else? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alderman Terrence motion was to approve.
Sorry, he saw me raise my hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Was it?
6 to 1,
Okay,
Alderman
okay,
Terrence
all right,
voting no.
sorry. Thank you.
All right. All right, moving on. New business. We have none. Review of committee reports. In front of you, you have the Finance Committee minutes from December 20th. First reading of ordinance and second reading if rules are waived. Ordinance 1482, ordinance to amend the zoning map for the city of Muskego B2 to B3 slash Wisco Carts LLC. This is the subject matter of the public hearing that we had earlier this evening. Any further information anyone requires for the second reading? Unfinished business, ordinance 1481, an ordinance to amend the chapter 30, section 30-1 of the municipal code of the city of Muskego polling places.
Move to approve.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. City officials reports, we have none. Communications miscellaneous business as authorized by law. In front of you are any updates from any of the liaisons? Future agenda item requests? Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 6:15.